So Nintendo has finally surrendered to us. One of the most baffling decisions Nintendo has made was the fact that the GameCube controller is incompatible with every other game that isn't a GameCube game as well. Yeah. Again, this is a pretty baffling choice and decision, as well. And it was the same thing with the Switch One. You know, some games didn't really work properly with the GameCube controller, and Nintendo corrects itself, saying the Switch 2 GameCube controller work with games outside of the online classics library, but there may be some issues because it won't have all the buttons with other controllers. Again, this was the same thing with the Switch 1. Certain games, you couldn't really play the game, with the GameCube controller properly. I think so games like Mario RPG obviously as well, but games like Pikmin obviously work perfectly fine because they just use the same controls as the GameCube games, or of course games like Mario Kart and Smash Bros. Obviously work pretty well with the GameCube controller. There's no real issues with those games obviously as well, but as well. But we're talking about games like that do require some extra buttons that are not on the GameCube controller, like Mario RPG is one such example. Mario RPG, you couldn't really use like your special moves or stuff like that because a certain move in the game, because the GameCube controller had no button for it. Obviously, as well here. The controller is only compatible with GameCube classics. It says it's very limited as well here, but it seems that this is quite the case, that will only work with, the Switch 2 GameCube controllers will only work with online classics library. GameCube classics survive on the Switch 2 with absolute hits like Zelda Wind Waker and games like Pokemon XC and GB Robo as well here. But even gets situated on other classic controllers like Switch, SNES One, GameCube games are only coming to Switch Online, expansion pass, blah blah blah. But it seems that Nintendo has finally given in and said, hey, it'll be compatible with non-GameCube games after all. I feel there may be some issues if you choose it that way. And yeah, that's what this video here. And yeah, Nintendo did given they it was another one. Nintendo was at least trying to fix all the baffling choices in the Switch 2, which I do see as a good thing, not a bad thing, obviously. Now Nintendo needs to really need to realize that money is not the answer. Okay, I get Nintendo's a company, they want to make money, but, not everybody can afford all the things to the Switch 2, especially all those accessories that are like $100 each. But yep, that's what this video here. Goodbye.